Our story begins with a guy jumping around like a lunatic, supposedly getting ready to go beat up some dude in a suit. Just imagine that, my friend. Meanwhile, the girl keeps trying to explain and argue with the guy in the suit. Like, what are you doing here? Didn't we agree to go our separate ways? Then, when the guy punches another one thinking they're married, they both scream, "No," at him in unison. The girl storms home to wallow in self-pity while he sits outside her room trying to comfort her. Honestly, he looks like his whole life's been flipped upside down. Anyway, let's rewind a bit to understand what really happened. Enter Bon, an incredibly stylish and elegant guy, but also the most arrogant human being alive. He's fussier than Anton Ego from Ratatouille. As we see, he personally tastes and judges the dishes in his restaurant, which, by the way, is one of the top restaurants around. He's so meticulous that even a drop of oil out of place is enough to ruin a dish for him. While tasting one of the dishes, he complains, "This is what I'm eating? I'm trying to check if the seasoning is even right." He asks one of the chefs, "Where's your dancer?" And the chef tells him she's filming and not around. Then we meet Jang, the head chef, who cares more about fame and media appearances than serious cooking. Bon interrupts her TV interview and drags her to the dressing room to give her a list of new dishes to prepare. She protests, "You expect me to make all this in 1 month?" He replies sarcastically, "Well, if you'd step out of the spotlight for a bit, Miss Star, you'd actually be able to do it." We learn he's determined to earn his restaurant a 3-star rating. When she reminds him that fame is important for publicity, he says, "Leave the marketing to me. I'm the expert." They laugh and mock each other. She claims she's never been given a real chance to shine, and he mocks her creativity. When Bon goes home, we meet his brother San, and that's when we discover the real reason Bon wants the 3 stars. He's in a rivalry with his brother to see who can get them first. They taunt each other. Bon boasts that his restaurant got its first star on day 1, while San took 3 years to get one. Just as San is about to hit him, Bon quickly backs off. San laughs and says, "Don't worry, I wasn't going to hit you." They end up having dinner with their mother, who declares that whoever gets the 3 stars first will take over the family business. The next day, Jang manages to prepare the signature dish. Bon likes it, but his wrinkled expression makes her heart sink. Then, his assistant comes in and tells him someone else is presenting the same dish to the rating committee. Curious, Bon finds out the location, a tiny rural town. He decides to go check it out himself. As expected, the GPS leads him straight into a mess, as always in Korea. Finally, he arrives at the restaurant, which looks nothing like what he expected. He mocks the place. "Well, you can tell a book by its cover, huh?" He walks in and finds no one, until he spots a farmer working in the field. Turns out it's actually a girl, and this is our heroine, Song. Calmly, she throws him off the field for stepping on her crops. He gets up yelling, "Hey, I'm looking for the owner of this place." She completely ignores him as he follows her around, desperate to know who made that dish. When she finally removes her hat, he freezes. "Is that a moon?" He pretends to be unaffected and quickly puts on his sunglasses to hide his eyes. He asks her for the recipe, but she insists he apologize first for how he treated her. When he mocks her again, she tells him he stepped on her cabbage. He nearly explodes, but holds it in. "Okay, fine," he says. "What do you want me to do now?" She tells him she needs a specific cut of beef. He's about to go get it, but she adds, "It must be Malaysian beef, not just any beef." Confused, he's like, "Wait, aren't you supposed to go out and buy that yourself? Where is this cow anyway?" Still grumbling, he heads to the market. At the first butcher shop, the seller laughs at him. "You want that? You'll have to wait for someone to bring a cow just for you. We don't butcher cows daily in this poor village." Bon offers to buy the entire shop's stock in exchange. The seller agrees. When Bon returns, Song immediately smells the difference and realizes he lied. He even used a fake label claiming the meat was Malaysian. She calls him out, then stuns him further by eating raw meat. He panics. What is this, a zombie movie? Finally, she tells him her name is Song, and they go foraging for mushrooms together. Throughout the day, Bon is completely humiliated. Back home, he collapses from exhaustion and says he'll eat anything just to survive. Then comes the classic Ratatouille moment. He tries her food and is suddenly reminded of his mother's dish, a humble stew with tomato sauce. He's shocked that someone could recreate that feeling. As he takes a bite, his stomach growls and he ends up eating like a man starved. Impressed, he offers to buy the restaurant and hire her. She'll still work there, but with a much higher salary. She shuts him down with 2 fierce words and walks off. Bon laughs it off, pretending he doesn't care. Pfft, her loss, not mine. The next day, her landlady comes demanding rent. Song tries to hide, but the landlady threatens to kick her out if she doesn't pay soon. Meanwhile, Bon sees a news report about another chef who received the same offer as Song. But unlike her, he tried to take his own life. The media blames Bon, portraying him as a greedy rich man trying to steal people's livelihoods. As a result, Bon is removed from his restaurant's management, and the company's shares drop. Later, when Bon visits the hospitalized chef, he finds him chilling on the bed, chatting on the phone. Turns out, he faked the whole thing, on his brother San's orders to knock Bon out of the competition. Now Bon, cigarette in mouth, decides to return to Song. And as he says, "By the way, we're not done talking," she doesn't let him finish. She steps closer with a smile, takes the cigarette from his mouth and puts it out on her palm, cool and effortless, then leaves him there like air and walks back into her restaurant. We're then taken back in time to remember the day Song first got the restaurant. She had big dreams of growing it, which is why letting it go isn't easy for her. Meanwhile, Bon walks in and sits at a table saying, "I heard you're deep in debt. The money I'm offering you can clear it all and even help you open a second restaurant." He hands her a contract. She tears it up. So he gives her another. She rips that one too. He keeps pulling out copies and she keeps tearing them up. He finally says, "I've got endless copies. I'll keep going till my last breath." Eventually, she agrees, but only under certain conditions. The name of the restaurant stays the same, and he has to work with her for a while so she can judge whether he's serious about preserving the place. In other words, he's just a temporary employee. That stings Bon. He snatches the contract and adds a condition of his own, something even tougher than hers. They both sign, though it looks like they're about to rip it up again out of spite. Later, we learn Bon's dark intention. He's planning to steal her recipes. Over the phone, he tells his assistant that she's gone mad and won't let him near her cooking methods, but he'll figure them out. That night, we see Song sneaking around like she's smuggling contraband, constantly checking over her shoulder. She meets a guy wearing glasses who hands her a suspicious-looking bag. She sniffs it and says, "You really nailed it this time. This is better than ever. Just make sure no one's following us." Suddenly, we cut back to the very first scene. Bon jumps into the frame like a wounded chick with a stubbed toe. Song yells at him, "Why are you following me?" He replies, "I came to see what my partner is up to. You clearly look like you're hiding something." He tries to get a look at her bag. Both she and the delivery guy are equally clueless, trying to avoid him. Bon grabs her and insists on seeing the bag, only to discover it's full of Asian chili herbs. That's it. So, why the drama? The herb dealer mutters, "Man, I don't need this headache. Are you two married or what?" Both shout at the same time, "No, of course not." He takes back his herbs, saying, "Pay me when you have the money." Later, we see Song curled up in bed, crying hysterically. Bon watches and mutters, "Good grief, is this a funeral or a chili massacre?" She sobs, "You don't even know how hard it is to grow this herb, or where to get the seeds. Damn you, Bon. You've ruined everything." He tries to calm her down, telling her she's losing money by using such expensive ingredients in a cheap dish. She insists it's a matter of principle, not profit. He's about to explode from frustration. Rightfully so. She ignores him and continues tending to her plants. He suggests they hire more staff, renovate the place, and add some features that fit his vision. He even suggests some celebrity chefs. But she shuts him down. "If your chefs were any good, you wouldn't have had to come all the way here." Song heads to the market and leaves Bon talking to himself. At the market, she meets a quirky seed seller who's a bit out of it. Song asks for castor bean seeds, and the woman surprisingly goes into deep detail, explaining how the seeds must be planted with feeling before even touching the soil. Song listens intently, fascinated. It's clear this woman has a deep understanding of herbs and plants, the perfect person to join Bon's team. Song returns to the restaurant and tells Bon she's found the perfect staff member, the seller, Sia, who turns out to be a cinema and drama fanatic. Now, Song and Bon sit outside, hashing out plans. Of course, Song's decisions rule, and Bon has no choice but to follow. He tries to recruit a famous French chef, but when he goes to the hotel to find him, the guy's already left. Bon is denied entry. He's no longer a member. He tries to bribe the guard with an expensive watch, but he's broke and unprepared. In desperation, he sells his own clothes, dresses up as a security guard, and sneaks into the hotel. He even borrows the guard's room and clothes to sleep in. All night, he keeps hearing Song's voice in his head. "You're broke. You're broke." A complete mental breakdown. Finally, he returns to the restaurant, replaces the tables, and everyone's shocked at his weird new outfit. A flashback shows that he sold everything just to buy those tables. When Sia touches one of them, he freaks out, yelling, Easy, that thing cost me blood, sweat, and tears. He sits outside, defeated, and texts everyone he knows about his new restaurant, hoping they'll come and pay. But rich people only care about themselves. Only one person says she might come, then cancels because the place is too far. He even sends her a Snapchat selfie hoping to win her over. Meanwhile, the only two customers that show up are met with Sia demanding payment upfront. Bon nearly loses his mind. He storms off to ask Song if she's okay with Sia's customer service. But Sia has a point. They need to appreciate the food. It's clear she's trying to get Bon fired. She continues watching dramas instead of working. When Bon confronts her, she suddenly starts scrubbing every inch of the place, hitting things left and right, maybe hoping he'll finally quit. Later, she mentions she's craving a specific dish. Bon is thrilled and runs to tell Song. As always, they bicker like cats and dogs. While they're distracted, Sia tries to cook it herself, but ruins the main ingredient. Bon gets a message from his friend, canceling their meeting. He completely loses it, storms out into the cold rain, and sits alone. A man passing by, who turns out to be the security guard from earlier, recognizes his tattered state and gives him a little respect. They sit and chat, and out of pure coincidence, the guy hands him the very same chili Song had been freaking out over earlier. Bon rushes back to the restaurant, finding it sparkling clean with new dishes ready. And Song has even got him new clothes. She also made the pastry his friend had wanted. He surprises her by handing her the chili. He pretends to cough. Too spicy, he says, not wanting to admit he did it for her. Then, Bon's friends finally show up, with others. The place is suddenly buzzing with people. Clearly, Song did some excellent marketing. Song cooks, Sia assists, and Bon jokes and laughs with everyone. For the first time in ages, they're all genuinely happy. They decide to go out together. But just as they're leaving, a taxi pulls up, and someone steps out. All messy and disheveled, that guy turns out to be Myung, the owner of the store where Sia used to work. He tries to force her to go back with him, begging her like crazy, but Bon steps in and puts him in his place. Later that night, after the fight calms down, they find out it was actually Sia who called him. She confesses, "I left you because they gave me a better offer. Way better. I don't have any talent or anything special, so I had to lie. That's why Myung couldn't even stand himself." Later, Bon is sitting alone, scrolling through his phone when he sees the headline, "Jung becomes Goodwill Ambassador for Chefs in his brother's restaurants." Bon's like, what kind of nonsense is this? Jang, on the other hand, is thrilled Bon is out of the picture and says to his brother, "Now that Bon's gone, I can finally show the world all my talent." Meanwhile, Bon is spiraling, leaving a recorded voice message while jumping around aimlessly. Song watches him from afar, thinking he's lost it and talking to a streetlight. But the night's not over. Myung shows up again and tries to attack Song. And even though Bon is drunk, he tries to defend her. Just as she starts to admire his courage, he lets out a shriek because Myung pulls his hair like they're in second grade. "Let go, let go!" She gets fed up and knocks Myung out cold with a single hit. After saving him from that nonsense, she asks Bon, "Wait, were you talking to me on the phone earlier? That girl who cheated on you with your brother, was that your girlfriend?" Bon stammers, No, she wasn't my girlfriend. It was nothing serious. That's none of your business anyway." As she's about to say, "You poor thing," Myung gets up again, and they start pulling each other's hair again. This time, Song doesn't bother saving him. She just watches and walks off with Sia. The next morning, the landlady of the restaurant shows up with some potential buyers. Song's confused and says, "But we already paid the rent." And the landlady replies, "Isn't your restaurant shutting down anyway?" Now Song is baffled. Even Bon is surprised, asking, "What do you mean shutting down?" "Everywhere I go, people just start closing doors." They ask, "Who said the restaurant is closing?" The landlady replies, "The whole town's talking about it. They say your food is fake, your place is full of bugs." Bon puts it all together. Myung is the one spreading the rumors. Bon and Song head straight to confront Myung. They find him getting a massage. For no clear reason. Bon politely tries to talk, but honestly, he's terrible at being polite. Song advises him, "If you want something from a dog, call it sir." But Myung just keeps provoking them, saying, "I heard your restaurant's shutting down." That's the final straw. Bon snaps and says, "So it's you who's spreading these lies." They rush back to their restaurant, only to find it swarmed by a surprise health inspection team. The Ministry of Health has shown up from all directions. They don't find any insects or violations. Except one, the spicy chili they used, which is apparently banned in public restaurants. No idea why, but okay. Song tries to explain, "Yes, we opened the packet, but we didn't use it." Still, they give her a fine. Bon's furious. He grabs Sia and heads back to Myung, only to find him bribing the health inspectors at his own restaurant. Myung sneers. You think I'm an easy target? I make others pray. Never me. Sia suddenly bursts out laughing. Pray? Go check on your own prey. They all turn around and find Myung's place being shut down and sealed off because it was illegally extending past its licensed property area. 1 for 1. Fair game. As Bon, Song, and Sia walk away, happy and victorious, Myung shows up in his car, sticking his tongue out at them. Let's see who really wins in the end, he shouts smugly. He parks his car right in front of their restaurant, blocking the narrow street. Bon tells him to move, but Myung says, if you've got any legal proof that parking here is illegal, bring it. Otherwise, do what you want. As usual, he speeds off and they chase after him, stuck in endless back-and-forth drama. Bon decides to retaliate. He gathers his friends, stands at Myung's restaurant entrance, and forms a patriotic street performance troupe, yelling, I'm celebrating my country. This is Korea. Who's gonna stop me? Myung is shocked. What is all this? You've only been here 2 days. How'd you gather all these people? How'd you get them on your side? Back at the restaurant, Bon can't even get inside because Myung's car is blocking the entrance. Song comes out and scolds him. She warned him not to provoke people. Bon tries to explain, I didn't start this. I was defending the honor of our work. Myung came at us first. And Sia. She's the one who lied to me. She said she took the other job for more money, but that wasn't even true. Song doesn't care. She just walks back in, leaving Bon stuck between the door and the street. The next morning, he sees Song getting on a bus. He hops on behind her, wondering where she's going. As soon as she sits down, she falls asleep. He whispers, the sleep of the wicked is true peace. She really is something. Sleep's the only thing that calms her. She snores loudly, and when the guy next to Bon stares, Bon says, it wasn't me, I swear, it's her. He pretends to sleep too. Eventually, they both get off the bus, and Bon has no idea where they are, but he keeps following her. She leads him to a quiet, remote area and says, you'll have to climb this hill. He follows her up until they reach an old house, a little ancient and eerie. Suddenly, a window opens and Bon nearly jumps out of his skin. Am I about to have a heart attack here? Who's this old guy? Turns out they're looking for a special kind of sauce, a very rare one. The old man replies, sweetie, I'm an old man. I'm asleep. What do you expect me to do? Song says, I'll make it. Bon protests. You'll make it alone? She basically tells him, why are you even here then? He mumbles, no, forget it. I'd never do anything like this. Cut to Bon, wearing an apron, looking like a dream. As she works, he stares at her in awe. How could someone this talented, smart, and hardworking be hidden away in a little countryside village? Eventually, they get what they need and start heading back late at night. The place is pitch black, but Song feels happy that she managed to accomplish what she wanted, by herself and through her own effort. But suddenly, it starts raining heavily. Bon grabs her hand and runs with her as fast as he can. But at that moment, our heroine is in a different headspace. She's thinking, finally, someone actually cares about me. They take shelter at a bus stop, trying to protect their now-soaked clothes. As they stand there, a strange, silent moment of eye contact passes between them, like something is stirring between them. A beautiful pause. Until Bon's phone rings, ruining the moment. It's bad news. Their restaurant is on fire. They run straight there to find firefighters everywhere, chaos all around. It's a major incident. At that moment, Song is certain. Myung is behind this. She heads straight for him, but Bon tries to stop her, saying, you can't go alone. We don't have any proof. But she just gives him a cold look, pushes past him, and storms into Myung's place. She throws water in his face to wake him up. Myung tries to act innocent, playing the victim in front of others like, poor me, I was just sitting here and they attacked me. Bon steps in to speak, but suddenly Sia shows up and says, true, there's no evidence, but I have a witness. Flashback. Sia remembers seeing Myung wandering near the restaurant, clearly drunk, holding a bottle of alcohol, staggering strangely. Back to the present. Myung defensively says, just because I was drunk doesn't mean I set the place on fire. I'm not a criminal. Another flashback. We actually see him going into the restaurant, holding a lighter, staggering left and right. And he does start the fire. Back to reality. He realizes, oh my God, I really did it. He kneels, crying, I swear I didn't know. I didn't mean it. He offers to pay them everything he has as compensation. 1,000,000 won. But Bon laughs and shows him a much larger amount, proving how pathetic Myung's offer is. Myung begs, "I don't have anything more." Finally, Song gives him a 3-day ultimatum. If he doesn't help rebuild the restaurant, she'll report him. And he won't come back from that road. Myung is relieved and agrees. Bon, on the other hand, is upset. Why give him another chance? Song answers, "Everyone deserves a second chance." Before the 3 days are up, Myung shows up to help, but it's clear. He's totally useless. He tries to hammer a nail, hurts himself, tries to stick tiles. They fall right off. Then a whole room collapses around him. They rush in to check on him and he breaks down, explaining, "When I was a kid, I was spoiled. No one taught me anything. I'm not a bad person. I just didn't know how to do anything." Bon feels for him and notices that he's using too much water in the tile mix, so he gives him some advice. That night, Myung remembers when he lit the lighter and he's confused. He didn't ignite anything directly, so how did the fire start? Seems like there's something bigger going on. Meanwhile, Jang shows up to see Bon. After hearing her rich mother complain that Jang's cooking is terrible, she realizes Bon is the better chef, so she rushes over sweet-talking him. But just her luck. Song arrives and asks Bon who Jang is. Bon, flustered, says, "Oh, she's my ex, the one I was yelling at on the phone. Remember?" Jang is about to blurt out, "Do you even know who this guy is? He's not your partner. He's a scammer who steals people's recipes and properties." But Song subtly shuts her down, saying, "If you're the ex, that means I'm the better choice." Bon's shocked at how quick-witted Song has become. He grabs Jang by the hand, pulls her aside, and says, "Listen, I know everything you did. No need to come crawling back now." That night, Bon's in his room, thinking about Song's words and wondering if she really loves him. He gets lost in thought, ends up doing some random push-ups. The next morning, he wakes up to her face. She's wearing a cute face mask. He jumps in surprise. She laughs, "Guess you couldn't resist my beauty." They go to the market together and he watches her spend over an hour picking chicken from the fridge. He jokes, "Are you casting a spell? Just pick a chicken already." Turns out they're preparing for a huge cooking competition with a massive cash prize. They're hoping to win, rebuild the restaurant, and grow their brand. Great publicity, too. Song finally chooses her dish, kimbap. Meanwhile, Myung and Sia are in their own quirky world, working on their food truck for the competition. The competition involves each team serving food from their truck, and customers put points on the board for the dishes they like most. Bon is shocked to see that Jang is also competing, and the head judge is Bon's backstabbing brother. Everyone brings their A-game, especially Song. But because she's making an old traditional dish, people are slow to visit her stand, until Bon shows up with premium ingredients to elevate the meal. That changes everything. Crowds pour in, food bloggers show up, go live, and give rave reviews. They're the first team to sell out. Jang starts to panic. What if they actually win? She rushes to Bon's brother and tells him what happened, demanding that she must win, no matter the consequences. Day 2 begins. More food bloggers arrive. Once again, Song and Bon's team impresses, and they're confident they'll win. But when the final results are announced that night, Jang wins. Bon's team doesn't even place. Everyone's crushed. Bon runs to confront his brother, accusing him of rigging the results, of buying votes, and of being the one who set the fire in the restaurant. His brother just mocks him. "That place? You're calling it a restaurant?" That's when Bon knows for sure. His brother really was behind it. Bon falls into a deep sadness, but Song pulls him out of it. She grabs his hand, and they run together, ending up staring into each other's eyes. They don't even know if what they're feeling is love, or attraction, or some other magical madness. Then we cut to Song waking up from sleep, saying to herself, "What's wrong with you, Song? Are we seriously falling for this nonsense? Love? Come on. I thought we were done with this." After everything burned down, guess who came back? Bon keeps knocking on her door, not knowing that she already left. When he heads to the restaurant, he finds her there. He tries to speak, but she keeps changing the subject. It's clear Song is nervous. Meanwhile, Myung and Sia, as usual, are floating in their watermelon sugar world, though it seems like feelings are starting to grow between them. Suddenly, 2 French customers walk into the restaurant. Bon chats with them briefly before they leave without eating. When asked who they were, Song refuses to let Myung explain. Turns out she understood every word. They were scouts inviting her to cook in France. Bon tries to convince her that this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, not just for money, but exposure. But Song is hesitant due to the costs. That night, she secretly starts researching cheap but creative dishes. She opens her recipe book and imagines Bon in it, wanting to burn the whole book. When she steps outside, she finds him sitting drunk like a homeless man. He tells her that in his town, the drunkards were the coolest guys, and that she should feel honored he even let her into his life. He then drunkenly invites her on a date, hoping maybe two lost souls can find each other. No matter how much she rejects him, he still believes she secretly wants to go. The next day, Bond surprises everyone with fancy uniforms for a prestigious food tour group. Meanwhile, we meet Jack, Song's ex, a world-famous chef with a global reputation. He's rude on a flight, complaining about over-salted food and threatening legal action. He then shows up unexpectedly at Bond's restaurant. As Bond chases after Song to convince her to go out with him, she suddenly hears Jack's voice. He asks to speak with her, but she runs inside. He follows and she commands him to leave. She runs to her room and cries. When Bond finally arrives, Myung and Sia try to tell him what happened, but Song walks in, forcing them to pretend like everything's fine. Classic Dumb and Dumber energy. Later, the food tour group arrives. They're stunned by the meals, especially Song's dish. Jack drinks the sauce, asks for seconds, and even praises Myung's homemade drink. Bond is shocked. Wait, Myung is finally useful? After they leave, Jack spies from his car, wondering who Bond is and why he's still around. He follows him inside and asks to speak to Song. Bond resists, but Song dismisses everyone and insists on being alone with Jack. Bond tries to stay, but Song politely kicks him out, saying they still have their 9 p.m. date. In the private talk, we learn Jack and Song were once engaged. She sacrificed her job to cover for his failed dish during a major restaurant evaluation. Instead of being grateful, he fled with the manager who had insulted her, leaving her career in ruins. Now he wants her back. Later, Song surprises Bond by showing up for their date. He creates a dreamy, romantic atmosphere. She asks how he paid for all this, knowing he's broke. A flashback reveals Bond begged for a room on a rooftop by chopping onions until his eyes nearly burst. Just when things go well, Song dozes off mid-date. The next day, Bond finds out she traveled with Jack. She leaves a letter to the team, wishing them luck and giving her full recipe book. The team is thrilled until they realize the letter is an endless list of cooking instructions. We kinda hope she doesn't come back. They joke. Trouble returns. Bond's old assistant shows up, trying to steal recipes. Myung, being overly friendly, accidentally spills all the ingredients to him. The assistant leaks everything over the phone, but Bond sedates him with alcohol and locks him in Myung's shuttered store. Desperate to stop Song from leaving forever, Bond tells Myung he's in love with her. Myung, shocked, but moved, steals money from his dad to help Bond get a visa. Meanwhile, Song tracks down her old restaurant manager, now mentally ill and in a psychiatric hospital, surrounded by grieving family. She remembers how Jack had abandoned her at her lowest. Just as she's processing all this, Bond suddenly appears. He traveled all the way to find her. At dinner, Song finds herself seated between Jack, the ex, and Bond, the new guy, both trying to win her over. Jack even proposes they get back together. Bond, on the other hand, just smirks, quietly confident in her heart. What will Song choose? Old love or a new beginning? That's what you'll find out in part 2. Let us know in the comments if you want us to cover it. Don't forget to like and subscribe.